Welcome to Wild About Philly's Artist Spotlight. We are here at TIC Studios inside of Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique. My name is Tiffany Murphy and I'm your host. And today we're talking with Mckenna Bowden, author of Black Words Matter chat book. Welcome to the show, Mckenna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First question. The Black Words Matter chat book explores the origins of the words that were taught to people of color over time through their family, environment, and society. Can you tell our viewers about the influence and power of words?
Absolutely. So I think we know, and we may not realize it, how important the words that we use impact what we see in our lives. So it may be things that you hear from when you were a child, when you were in school, in your environment, and how you use those words. You know, like you hear the adage, like or I guess it's a Bible verse really, that talks about the power of life and death is in your tongue. So it's like whatever it is that you say about yourself or that you end up believing about yourself, that actually comes to pass. So that is what I think about when I think about the power and the influence of words.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Philly and where did you go to school?
Yes, I am from Philadelphia. I went to school, so I grew up here and I got an opportunity to go to a lot of different schools. So I went to a school in West Philadelphia. It was a private school, so it was a predominantly black school. So I was able to have the experience of seeing African American people who were, a principal, like teachers, everyone was black. And our school, we had a assembly, and we had to sing the Black National Anthem every morning. We had to say like a creed and like raise our fists. And so that kind of impacted how I saw myself and black people, if you will, from a young age. So that was from 1st to 4th grade. After that, I was bused out to a predominantly white school. At that time, it was called the desegregation program. And what that meant was they would bus students from the inner city to, at that time was the Northeast, where there were predominantly white schools, and so you had a better education. So I kind of got a taste of the different types of schools at the same time in Philadelphia, and then I went down back into the inner city in Southwest Philadelphia, where there was a totally different perspective of what it meant to be a black person, in the sense that I was in classrooms where you had teachers who were not comfortable with teaching the class. It was just fights, parties, whatever else. It was, I've referenced in the book how it was even an experience where a student threw a desk out the window because it was just that kind of environment. The teacher did not have any control. The books, the textbooks that we had, you had missing pages. It was a totally different experience from, being in a predominantly white school. So having those different experiences kind of gave me, they impacted me. So for high school, I went to Kappa, the High School for the Creative Performing Arts. I love my school. That was a totally new experience for me because I had the opportunity to be with people all different cultures. Everyone was about their art, so it was just a totally different view of the world for me there. Everyone was their self. It wasn't like you had to have look a certain way, have a certain outfit, because in the inner city school you have to have a certain sneaker, certain pair of jeans, or so it was different. It's like everyone was an individual there. So that was a really great experience for me. So I don't know, should I go all the way up to college?
Sure.
So Virginia State, I went for undergrad, and that's where I pledged for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Phi Chapter 2002. So, and then my master's degree at St. Joseph's University. So my degree there was in organizational development and my degree at Virginia State was in psychology. So both of those kind of informed my book in a sense, so from my primary education, having those experiences and those different words that shaped who I was, kind of, that had one part of the impact in my life, and then having that higher level of education, had a different impact. So kind of those two merged together.
Wow.
And kind of informed some of the things that I said in this book. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What life experiences brought you to writing such an important book?
Awesome question. It was a couple of things. So to get to this particular point, to writing this book, I feel like I had to be in a certain mental place. And I was going through a personal development program. And my mentor, his name is Lee Jenkins, and so we have been going through a lot of the processes within myself. So that was, we talked about paradigms and creating habits and just your brain, your mind, the conscious and the subconscious. So we talked a lot about those different things. I went through that process for myself. And as I was going through that process, and I'm still going through that process. I think that's going to be something that's going to be for the rest of my life. But, going through that initially, it helped me to understand more about who I am, about myself, why I think the way I think, why I do the things that I do. And that helped me to say, hey, I think someone else can benefit from this information, especially someone who is a part of my community, someone who has experienced some of the same things that I've experienced. Like, as I stated, being in those different environments, in those different schools, gave me a lot of different insight. And, to piggyback on that, just to mention my mother for a moment, and I talk about this in the book as well, that even though I went to those particular schools, the environment that I had at home, it was like, hey, that's not gonna be your friend.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Saying you're not going here, you're not doing this. And and as a child, you don't understand that, you don't get that.
Exactly.
But she had a particular path that she wanted me to take. So it was, I didn't have it's like, you're going to college. That's what you're doing.
I know that.
So,
Yes.
that, having that, talking about words,
Yes.
having that influence, having that impacted me to say, okay, it's important to have an education. It's important to be independent and be able to control your paycheck or your career, whatever it is. So that was some of the words that were going on, from that perspective. So being able to kind of dissect those different parts of who I already was, and then kind of say, all right, now, how can I now follow my passion? And so that kind of took a different path for me.
Okay.
So if I can explain this good, I think that a lot of times we are told, or we think that we have to go a certain direction because this is the only way that you can make money. This is the only way that you can do this or that. As a black person in America, you can only follow this particular path. And I think that that's a paradigm. That is a paradigm, is something that is the constant repetition of information.
Yes.
So just because it's a constant repetition of information does not mean it's true. So it was, okay, now I have to dissect and break down, okay, I can do what I want to do. I don't have to fit in this box. And I need to tell everybody that. I need to tell everybody that, especially in the black community, who is constantly being told by the media, being told in their schools, in classes where children are throwing stuff out the windows, and classes where they are given textbooks without papers, all the sheets of paper in them, that, hey, you can be whatever it is you want to be.
Yes.
And so it's just about changing mindset, changing the words that you use to describe yourself. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Shout out to Mom for planting the seed. Shout out to Mom. We have to take a short break. We'll be right back to chat more with Mckenna.
I'm Patti LaBelle, and I'm wild about Philly.
Hey, this is Charlie Baltimore, and I'm wild about Philly.
Hey, I'm Jermaine Bryson, the Husky Bruiser from Mosaic Flow, and I'm wild about Philly.
My name is Trevane Bryson. I'm with Mosaic Flow, and I'm wild about Philly.
Hey guys, it's your girl Kay Washington here, Philly's own, and I'm wild about Philly.
Spotlight, it's time to shine. If you sing, paint or design, model or rhyme, wild about Philly, streets the prime time.
Welcome back to Wild About Philly's Artist Spotlight here at Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique. We are featuring the lovely and talented author of Black Words Matter, Mckenna Bowden. Welcome back, Mckenna. In your book, you talk about the law of vibration. Could you tell us more about that?
Sure. So the law of vibration is basically what is resonating inside of you was going to vibrate out into the world. And whatever that frequency that you're on, that's what's going to come back to you. So I can even say, when I was talking about my mentor earlier, at that point I was working at a job that it was cool. You know, it was a good job. I was making good money. But I had gotten to a point where I was like, I want to do something different. I was like on the phone with my mom, and we're like, oh my gosh, I hate driving here every day. It was horrible. I was starting to feel overwhelmed. And it was just because I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to work from home. I wanted to I had this whole vision of what I wanted for myself. So I just happened to be talking to one of my coworkers, and he's like, hey, are you looking for a mentor? And I was just like, yeah, I am, but like where did this come from, you know?
Right, it's random.
And he's like, listen, here's this guy's name, check him out. I'm like, well, how much does it cost? I don't have any money for it. He said, well, just check him out, and then, you know, and just see how it goes, do a session. And that's when I met Lee Jenkins. It was just that moment where I was like, I want to do something different, and went out to the world, and it came back to me exactly what I needed. So I guess, you know, that's how the universe works. Whatever it is that you desire, and that's why words are important. Because whatever words you put out there, and they don't always have to be linguist, they don't have to always come out of your mouth, because it's what's in your heart. It is what is in your mind. Those are words. So I talked about the mind. We talked about the conscious and the subconscious, right? So without getting too into the weeds about that, the information that we receive, right, that goes into our conscious, right? And then our subconscious has no choice but to accept whatever we give it.
Wow. Okay.
Right? So just saying that to say, the words that we accept, the words that we choose to believe, come out into our actions. So it's not necessarily a word. If I believe that I'm ugly, I'm going to start acting like I'm ugly. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So anyway, to talk about the law of vibration, whatever you are feeling on the inside, that's what's going to come back to you on the outside. So that's what I mean when I talk about the law of vibration.
That's really powerful. Wow. Okay, great. So in talking about the law of vibration, does that only relate to self? Can that be applicable to relationships, like interpersonal relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, things like that?
Absolutely. So it's a universal law. So it's, you know, it's not specific to, like, what I'm talking about. That's right. So that's something that is just a law of the universe. So this is something that, yes, can apply to your relationships, to your finances, to whatever it is in your life. You know, and a lot of people talking about relationships, they're like, oh, I can't find the person that I want to be. Well, what's going on within you, right? I don't have any money. Well, you keep working from a place of lack. I don't have any money. You're saying you're working from a place of lack because you don't have words. So you're not going to have any money.
Yeah, exactly.
So it really does not matter. You can pick a topic. It's about that feeling that is behind it. Yeah.
You have to be intentional. So
Absolutely.
is that what you mean by, you know, having the inner intention, and then it comes out as, you know, the words, and, you know, it kind of goes from there.
Absolutely. So and I'm glad you brought that up, because it's not only so. I think even in the personal development world, people kind of get, I think people think that when you just say the word, that it's just going to magically appear. Words is the starting point.
Okay.
Because you can't do anything unless you believe it first, right? And then you have to take action. So that's where I think, like what you're saying, that word intentional comes in.
Yes.
You have to be intentional about it. You know, because it's difference between a wish, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
you actually taking the action to make something happen.
Oh, well spoken, Sora. Well spoken. So you're just returning from a really exciting book tour.
Yes.
Can you share some highlights from that?
Yes. So I just got off of the road. I started at the beginning of November in Atlanta. Shout out to the Nubian Bookstore in Atlanta. He was the first person that let me come in and on the book tour. And I've been to several locations, Barnes & Noble. They have been very helpful with this process as well. I've been to various locations in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I have some events coming up in Delaware, Maryland, DC area, Northern Virginia. So it's been a great opportunity. I've met some great people. And I just want to bring this out. It was really interesting to me on this book tour. There were a lot of people who were not Black that came to my table.
Oh,
there
wow.
were a lot of people who were not Black who had a lot of questions about what this book was about and who were interested. And so it was kind of a paradigm shift for me, because I'm like, wait a minute, where are all the Black people at? You know? And some of the Black people, they picked the book up and said, and, you know, set it to the side. And so it made me think about Black words. And it made me think about how a lot of times Black people are taught to be victims. Right? So we were talking about with the media and how they have perpetuated of how we should think.
Yes.
You have people that think that they should be victims, that they should be told that they should be poor, you should be this, you should be that. No, you can be whatever you want to be.
That's right.
It's about changing your mindset. So it was a great tour though. I had met some wonderful people. And also shout out to the African American Black Expo.
Yes.
That was a really great event. I met some wonderful people there. I think I had the most turnout there. But it was great.
Fantastic. That's exciting.
Yes, yes.
So a follow-up question, and I'm glad you brought up this particular topic about who will purchase your book. So who would be the person that would need to read this right now?
Yes, great question. I wrote it from my perspective, saying I'm a Black person, so and like I said, it's for the Black people in the Black community, because I think that we're being attacked the most when it comes, well, not the most, but a lot, over time.
Okay.
When I say the most, that's what I mean. However, I think that I know that this book is for anyone, because even if you take the word Black off of this book, words matter. That's a fact.
Yes.
And I don't care who you are, how old you are, because I had a lot of young people purchased this book, or they had their parents purchase the book for them.
Wow.
But it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Yes.
Your words matter.
Yes.
So this book is
absolutely.
for anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. So could you share with viewers how to connect with you on social media and how to purchase this really awesome book?
Thank you. Certainly. So you can connect with me on social media. Black Words Matter Chapbook on IG, and also Mckenna MC_KE_NNA. And also on Facebook by the same name. And you can purchase this book on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble. It's available in Nook as well as Kindle.
Where else can we find some of your merchandise, books? Do you have an online presence?
Yes. So Mckenna B, McKennaB.com. So there you can also purchase my books directly from me if you don't want to go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And I also have some really cool merchandise, some hoodies and sneakers and t-shirts that I think that you would really like.
Yes. Awesome.
And also, have some little jewelry.
Oh, really?
Some bracelets and things. So, yeah.
Give me that website one more time.
Yes, it's www. Does anybody use www anymore?
We're going to use it today.
McKennaB.com. And I have some other things coming up with regard to how this book is going to be rendered.
Awesome.
And some other events, so stay tuned. I'll be doing, I'm in the process now of scheduling an event at a few colleges in New York and doing some talks there and some other really fun, exciting things.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's really, really exciting. I'm so proud of you. Yes. If you haven't already, make sure that you get a copy of Black Words Matter Chapbook by my lovely soul, Mckenna Bowden. And just really quickly before we close out, again, we are here at TIC Studios inside of Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique here in beautiful West Philadelphia. And for those aspiring artists or people that are interested in having small events, or if you'd like to showcase some of your original artwork here, please come and see us. We're located at 5912 Haverford Avenue in West Philadelphia. Our Instagram is art and soul PHL. We are on Facebook under Art and Soul Gallery and Boutique, and our phone number is 215-660-3175. Again, I want to thank our fabulous guest, Mckenna Bowden, for talking with us about her wonderful book, and we wish you nothing but the best moving forward in your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Eve, and I'm wild about Philly.
I'm Shula, and I'm wild about Philly.
Yo, this is Charlie Mack. Y'all know that Mac is definitely wild about Philly.
This is Buck the F Wild, and I'm definitely wild about Philly. I took 5 for Philly.
It's Governor Ed Rendell, and I'm wild about Philly.
I'm Charles Bark. I'm wild about Philly.
What's up? This is Raheem Brock, Super Bowl champ from the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm wild about Philly.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Ann Washdish from VH1's Tough Love, and I am wild about Philly.
Spotlight, it's time to shine. If you sing paint or design.